2, 1. Welcome for finding us in the ever-growing crowd of YouTube. Thank you for coming to this channel, to this video. If you're watching this, please subscribe. Please like the video so that we reach more people. And without further ado, let me get into the meat of the show because I think we have a good slate of topics today, and we have a very full house. We have like 6 people today, which is 4 more than what we usually have. With me, I
So
have
you got to
my
say 8.
regular cohorts, my thirsties, as I like to call them. Please give it up for Kajol Srinivasan. Please give it up for Datta Prasad Godbole. And who's this fair person sitting in a Parsi chair? Oh, look, it's Shahan Karanjia, guys, the on again, off again, occasional Avenger of this team. Shahan Karanjia, who has been a part of Thirst Trap in spirit, but once in a while his body also shows up. Today happens to be one of those days. Shahan, I will get to you and what you've been doing with your life. With us is someone who has been on Thirst Chat before, a very funny guy, a movie nerd like me, and does a lot of other things with a lot of other streaming sites and so on and so forth. Please give it up for Sankalp Rastogi. Yes, and our guest for today's Thirst Chat. So far, guys, we were very, very local. We were very national. We were getting people from the same geographical area as us, more or less. But today, all of that changes because today is the day. This Thirst Chat, this live stream goes international. Today, we have with us someone who is from the UK, but he's joining us from Italy. Please welcome someone who destroyed the last Thirst Trap show, did very well. Please give it up for Michael Monkhouse.
All right. Oh, yeah, you're right.
That's very enthusiastic, Michael. Yes.
That's the maximum. That's the maximum enthusiasm I can work up to, especially just for you. You know.
Thank you so much. We're flattered.
That's all right.
Michael, what's the time over there?
Well, there's a bit of a time difference in Italy. We're 30 years behind the rest of the world. Yeah. In fact, when Scandinavian women come to Rome, they have to put their clocks back 30 years. It's about 6:30 in the evening.
All right. 6:30 in 19.
Before my bedtime. Yeah, I'm all right. That's why I have all this energy. Yeah.
So how's the things in Italy? Are you gigging live or is it all just Zoom?
No, I have to be honest. I think I've done one gig live. The rest of them I'm dead. No, I mean, that's what you said. I did a live gig because I'm dead normally.
Yeah.
No, well, the thing is, in Rome, there's very little stand-up anyway. There are very few opportunities. I mean, I was lucky to get one a month. I used to say it was like a vagina. It runs once a month. You know? It's lowered a tone already. But you know, but the only good thing about COVID is that I'm getting to do like a show a week, a show a day. You know,
right.
It doesn't make up for COVID, like your home becoming a prison and risking death. I get to do my horrible Spice Girls and masturbation jokes. You know,
yes, which
makes up for it.
Which we were witness to in the last Thirst Trap show. And if you did not watch it, if you're watching this, well, you missed out on a very funny show. It just goes on to tell you that you should come to our Thirst Trap shows, which this is an offshoot of, actually. This is the spin-off of that show. But yeah, that was a very funny bit. But we'll get into that. Before we get into the meat of the topic, Shahan, how have you been?
I have been away. And I have not been and I have not been very good.
You clearly got a haircut, we can see.
Yeah, after you insulted me last time, I decided to quit my job. I decided to quit my job and get a haircut. So thank you, Abbas, for changing my life.
So you've quit your job. What are you up to nowadays?
I'm just starting to do Zoom shows again. Starting with Thirst Trap.
Right.
Yeah, we've not had your nude body on our poster for a long time.
Yeah.
I got special lighting in my room just for the new poster. So they're coming back, guys.
Yes, guys. I would highly recommend going to the archive of Thirst Trap shows to see any lengths that this man will go to sell tickets. And with us is Sankalp. Sankalp, anything you want to say before we start the show? or start the stream or get into the topics. All right, cool. So let's get into it. We're broadly talking about 3 topics as we usually do. Our topic up top, the first one that we're going to talk about is how to make making out easier. Did I get that correct, Kajol?
Yes.
All right. So Kajol, give us like a one line like a summary of what we're talking about.
All right. So a friend of mine, who I will not name, was talking about
as usual, yes.
was talking about how he wanted to kiss this woman, and
Okay.
he's like, "Would you like to kiss?" Okay, which I felt was the stupidest way to go into a makeout. So, so I just felt that we should tackle it. You know, how do you effortlessly initiate a makeout?
All right. What are your takes on it, Michael? How would you, when you have to make out with a girl, how do you go about approaching it?
Alcohol. Alcohol.
For the girl or for you?
Both of us. Yeah. The more alcohol you have, I don't know. I mean, I have to be honest. The first time I made out with a woman, I had absolutely no interest in her whatsoever. I thought she was very, very unattractive, very unpleasant. I didn't like her as a person, but I was quite old. I was about 22, and if you reach the age of 22 without a girlfriend, you think it's never going to happen. So the first woman that showed any interest, I just thought, thank God for that. I'm not going to die a virgin. And I think I just had a lot to drink, and then I just sort of grabbed hold of her and shoved my tongue down her throat, as men do. And that was it. Sort of the direct approach, I'd say.
All right.
It worked. So shag out of it.
Keep
romantic, isn't it?
Did you call her back or did she call you back?
Oh, we started going out with each other till I found someone that I did find attractive, and then that was the end of that. So it was a good starting point for me.
I see. All right. So that's one way. Keep a drink handy and get drunk, and then take it from there. Shahan, what's your take on this?
I am the wrong guy to ask this because
Yeah, let me answer it for Shahan. Shahan slides into the DMs, guys. That's all it is.
I don't. Okay, I'm still bad at it. So you know what?
Because I'm
and
still
now
a
I realize
virgin.
that
No, he's not a virgin. Definitely not.
Oh, yeah.
so in 2021,
Guys,
I
keep
think
talking. I'm just gonna go switch off my fan because that's the kind of acoustics my room has. So Shahan, please
Does she
continue.
mind? My fan.
I still don't have a move, and I realize not having a move is actually a safe thing for a comic in 2021 because you just ask the person now. Because
Yeah, exactly. Which is what Kajol's friend did. So I kind of
I kind of agree with him. Why?
There you go.
It is a safe move.
तो problem है नहीं पूछो तो problem तो करना
Okay, let me yeah, go ahead, Shahan.
I have another
One
tactic
second,
here.
Datta, Shahan, complete your point.
So I think it was the only one time when I haven't had to ask is when I was like, awkwardly leaning in, and then we're making eye contact, then she literally looks at me and says, it's like she's giving me the green signal with like she's nodding her head. She actually nodded her head, and I was like, okay, no tweets on me after this. I'm not being creepy. This is consensual. My career is safe, and I get to make out.
This is gonna sound super cliche, Shahan, but considering you're a Parsi, I was thinking it's gonna go somewhere completely different. The only time I didn't have to ask, I was like, oh my god, I hope this is safe where he's going. Anyway, that was a very bad joke. Kajol, I just wanted to reverse engineer the comment you made. Why do you think it was stupid for your friend to ask the girl if you wanted to make out?
Because if a guy asked me, would you like to kiss or stuff like that, it would just completely ruin it for me.
Okay.
Right now, I'm just getting flashbacks.
But then
He was probably scared of stalking or something like that, because people are so paranoid now about molestation. He thought, if I ask you,
but if you're on a date,
the guy doesn't want his name on Twitter with hashtag.
It's on Facebook.
Okay. The subtlety of being able to read the signals is what makes it interesting, no?
Yeah.
In his defense,
It's the thrill of the chase, you know. It's thrill of the chase.
Yeah,
It's much more interesting. That's what I hate about all these sort of agencies and dating. It's just so obvious, you know. Do you want to fuck? Yes, there we go. You know.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, lock yourself in the toilet and masturbate like everybody else. You know? Saves time.
Yeah, go ahead, Kajol.
I've had guys offer me mints, okay, after dinner, which they keep in their pockets.
Okay.
So yeah, I know, not romantic, but still better than asking me straight out.
Okay, so in your opinion, insinuating it is sexier than actually just directly asking it.
Yeah.
Okay, Datta, what's your take?
Yeah.
One,
He's got points. One. Yeah.
One, it might kill mood to ask it, but not asking it might kill career. So I'm okay with.
Yes.
Mood is a small sacrifice I'm willing to make. So
how do you make it more comfortable? Like, talk about that if possible.
Yeah. So how do we make it more comfortable? Here's my theory that whatever moves has been mapped by girl already. All you have to do is not say or do anything stupid. Okay.
Right.
So
that's a very difficult thing. Yeah.
For me it is, but still I give it a shot. And after that, I do make.
I hope you do.
That's the defined stupid.
Huh?
Give me an example of doing something stupid.
I think making out would be a wrong time to be a contrarian. Like if she says something and you don't have to go, well, actually, you don't have to do that.
Okay. Cool. Got it. So ask to save your career. Don't be a contrarian. What else?
Yeah. And what my strategy is called zeroth move. Okay. So yeah, I don't make the first move.
When are you printing the thesis? I'd like to get a copy of
this.
I have a question for Datta too.
We'll come to that. Yeah, go ahead, Datta.
So the strategy of zeroth move is you don't make the first move, but you make all the moves to facilitate the first move. Okay. So what I did, it is only one time, but I think it works. Okay. So what you do is you show your date either handmaid's tale or lipstick under burqa. Okay. It sort of makes them feel extremely empowered, and all the repressed sexuality in the show, they feel like they're making out not just for themselves but for whole womankind. And I got first taste of it.
Happy Women's Day, by the way, guys. Just as a.
As someone who's seen Handmaid's Tale and loves it, the last thing I wanted to do was make out with someone immediately after seeing it.
Yeah, it was your experience. My experience said something else.
Okay, wait for the movie to end. Like 2 घंटा wait करेगा. अच्छा तुम पहले पूरी movie sink in कर लो, उसके बाद कुछ करते हैं like.
Datta, let me cut to the chase.
अरे नहीं, मुझे कभी एपिसोड खत्म करने की जरूरत नहीं पड़ी, पता है, बीच में ही शुरू हो गए.
Okay, you said you think it works. Why is it that you think it works?
Because it happened. It happened. I am making a causal connection here. Okay, so
causal
I
connection.
think it works.
Okay. What's the move called again? The zeroth move.
Zeroth move. You don't make the first move, but you make all the moves to facilitate the first move.
Okay. Guys, we do not endorse Datta's theories on this show. We just give him a platform to express them.
But the comments are going wild.
Oh shit. I should keep checking the comments. What are the comments saying? Wait, Abbas is doing Saraswati Puja. Vaibhav Bashri. What is your last name, dude? Bahari.
Let us not comment on that.
Tarun Kaushik said 22 is quite old, feeling bad about a friend. But asking is cool, right? What if he reads wrong signals? I think he means she reads wrong. Okay, either way can work. Shahan replied to that saying, "Good point."
No, he reads wrong signals.
This moment onwards, Datta is my love guru. So Tarun, Datta, you've got a fan in Tarun. You can discuss the your pickup techniques with him, I guess.
Tarun, you feel bad. You said 23, 22 is quite old, dude. 23 and a half, almost 24. I remember it was in the latter half of the year. And I was like, dude, I'm going to be 25 and I'm not going to have anything. And then boom. Boom.
28.
The latter half.
Yeah. It was towards
so you can sort of locate it to 6 months, the latter half of the year. Okay. How old are you?
I'm 31 now.
Well, yeah, I mean, you're young. It should be quite easy to remember exactly when it was. Just like.
Well, but this was like 8 years ago now.
All right.
Yeah.
Things that stick in your mind.
Sankalp, you have.
Sankalp as the only. Michael, are you married?
Yes.
I kind of live as if I'm married because I've been with my girlfriend for 17 years.
I see.
But technically, we're not married now.
Okay, Sankalp as someone who's legally and spiritually married.
Yeah. I mean, it's a contract, isn't it? You know, what do you want to sign a contract
I mean, tell us what's your take on making out easier. Does it get easier after getting married? Do you have to get your wife in the mood every time?
Making out
after marriage it's much tougher.
Oh really?
Yes, after marriage it's kabhi hota hai.
Okay.
I think after
for
marriage,
Michael,
sort of
contrary to what people think, शादी के बाद people are like just banging each other. ऐसा नहीं होता. And whenever I say to my friends, Sunday को मैं बाहर नहीं निकल रहा, I'm not getting out on a Sunday, people always think he's having sex at home. That's not the case, yaar. It's all about ration. It's all about bringing the groceries at home. It's all about getting all the pending chores at home done. That's what.
And banging.
Yeah, well, it's like a contract, isn't it? You do this for me, I do this for you.
Yeah, that's your foreplay.
You do the shopping, you shag me.
But yeah, speaking out of personal experience,
yes,
I have made peace with the fact that girls will never make out with me unless they are drunk.
Well, you're married. Obviously, they won't make out with you, Sankalp.
I'm saying before marriage. Like before marriage, whatever my escapades have been.
Okay,
it have only been after having a few rounds of alcohol.
So you endorse Michael's alcohol theory?
Totally.
Yeah.
Okay.
You don't have to ask them.
Thank you.
Oh, don't say that. Yeah, we don't endorse that.
It should be. I mean, after marriage.
See how
which means things are moving in a direction. Like shows that.
Yeah.
Okay, what about someone like me who doesn't drink? What do I do?
Take drugs.
At least
all the money that you save on alcohol, spend on cocaine or something.
That's actually true.
Or heroin. Yeah.
But Sankalp, how did you have a love marriage?
Yeah.
So how long did you and your now wife date before you got married?
For about 3-4 years.
Okay, and if you don't mind, what do you call confessing? How did you first make out with your then girlfriend, now wife?
We were basically both rebounds for each other.
Okay.
So
it's kind of cute.
I had just broken up and I was very Majnu in love, like a heartbroken guy.
Right. and she got you. She was like, yeah, totally.
And she was, on the contrary, she was a very happy person in those days because she had just gotten.
She was a very happy person in those days. Ab nahi hai.
Because she had just gotten rid of her asshole boyfriend, who was a possessive maniac kind of a guy.
Got it. So emotionally, you both were in a place where you just felt comfortable making out.
So initially, it was all about making out, and slowly the feelings crept in, and
and you were like, "Is dosti ko rishtedari mein badal dena chahiye."
It should be the opposite. You feel something, then you make out.
I also think so. Yeah, I agree with that.
Yes, Kajol. So now we come to you, Kajol, as someone whose brainchild this topic is. Please give us enlighten us of how you think two people should make it easy. Yeah.
So, being a woman, you don't really have to make the first move. Okay, so that's never happened. Now, what I think is that definitely a movie is a good idea because it's dark. If you choose a movie where it's not something depressive and weird like Handmaid's Tale, then that would work.
Ingmar Bergman.
The other option he gave was Lipstick Under My Burqa. Also not the funniest movie around.
नहीं यार बहुत it's such a chick flick देख ले like 50 First Dates.
Lipstick under my burqa has a scene of Ratna Pataksha masturbating, if that does it for you.
Yes.
That does not feel something. No.
Vibe totally.
It's a good conversation starter.
For Michael, if he doesn't know, Ratna Pataksha is a Indian actress who's what, in her 60s?
Oh, yeah.
And she's in there's a scene in which she's masturbating.
Kathy Bates.
Kathy Bates.
Kathy Bates, what, for Misery? Very sexy. Yeah. That's going to get you in the mood, isn't it? Old Kathy Bates in Misery, smashing the guy's legs in, Yeah,
that's true.
Ooh,
but yes, Kajol, so a movie is a good idea.
A movie is a good idea. Sitting in the car and talking at Carter Road or any kind of beachfront post midnight, because otherwise the police will catch you.
Now they'll also fine you for not wearing masks, by the way.
Yeah.
You can't do anything. Okay, but definitely car, movie theater.
But you're still giving me the places and situations, Kajol. What about the exact moment?
It's basically a situation. You have to read the person's reaction.
So your friend who was on a date, he must have seen an opening, and just to be sure, he asked the girl, right? He was like, can we do this for the affirmation?
Yeah, but that just killed it.
Shahan, are you sleeping?
No.
Okay, I just saw you with your eyes closed.
No. The internet connection is playing its tricks.
Okay, sorry. Yes, Kajol, go ahead.
So my whole idea is to create an atmosphere that makes things like lying under the stars and watching the stars, or something romantic or intimate to begin with.
Okay, can I address the elephant in the room?
Yes.
Given it's 2021, and like I think Datta and Sankalp mentioned, there have been cases where men have been called out for misreading certain signals from women. So if let's say the girl said yes to watch a movie with you because she just wanted to watch a movie with you as a friend, or go on a drive with you because you're a friend. So where is the so-called green signal where
I read? So sorry to interrupt, but I read really.
Can I talk about something?
We'll let Michael complete his point and then we'll come to you. Yes,
no, I just have to say I read something on the internet recently, and it's a bit cruel, but it really made me laugh. And it said what's the difference between flirting and harassment?
Right.
And they said if he's good looking, it's flirting.
Well,
if he's ugly.
For comedians, I think we all disqualified. We all harassers then.
With the chance now. So,
Sankalp, you were saying something.
Yeah, I was saying, if you remember Zakir's set, which had gone extremely viral, the first one where he talks about this first date.
The AIB one,
the AIB Divas one. So towards the end, he talks about this incident where he's with a girl and they both are leaning in towards each other, and the kiss is about to happen, but suddenly the girl puts her hand and says, "What are you doing?"
Yeah.
And that's the time when he says that, this is the most dangerous point a guy can ever be in.
Right.
So exactly now.
Now AIB doesn't exist.
It's unwanted.
Happen with somebody.
Right.
So how do you read a signal, and how do you,
you ask like Kajol's friend asked.
Can I?
Kill the vibe. If you ask, you kill the vibe.
Can I put it in?
You save your career. You save the career.
One second.
So
you don't have to kiss a person as a first point of physical contact. If you're sitting with them in the theater and you put your arm on the same armrest and she doesn't move her arm away, then that's one indication.
If she doesn't run away, scream. If she doesn't
Kajol, were you the writer for all the 80s romantic?
But it's the truth, okay? Or even if you put a hand on...
Dad?
What?
Nothing.
So any kind of physical contact that she doesn't run away from is a go ahead, right?
Yeah, but I think that's a bit worrying. If your parameters, if she doesn't run away, she wants it.
Run away.
It's a bit dodgy.
She shouldn't move a hand away.
Or I think a very.
What if she moves the rest of her body away, but not a hand? Does that count?
No, that doesn't.
Or a very simple gesture is holding hands. I think if she's holding your hand, then probably it's going to happen. Yeah.
I think holding hands is quite a nice one, actually. Yeah,
but I think what guys do completely wrong on a date is that, they drive the conversation towards making out and sex, which is sort of a big giveaway that, you are a desperate asshole.
Right.
Yeah, but we are. All men are desperate arseholes. That's why we ask women on dates, isn't it? Otherwise, we just sit in front of the television watching football. You know? Please fuck
Okay,
me.
I'll tell you my. So I don't know if the.
First move.
I mean, if I have the similarity with Kajol's friend or whatever, but I have been on dates where did someone cough or did someone yell? I think it's Uncle cough.
Just came. That's how good your story is.
I've been to a situation where the girl took me back to her place and I was still not very sure. So I again asked the girl. I was like, are we gonna make out tonight? And her answer was yes at some point during the night. So then I got an affirmation. Okay, it's gonna happen. So, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Listen.
Yes.
If a guy ever gave me that response, like sometime during the night,
No,
leave.
her reply was
whatever.
yeah.
If I asked and the guy told me sometime during the night,
Yeah.
I would leave.
Leave. Agreed.
Guess what, guys? I spent the night at her place. All right, so you're the loser. Okay.
गेट को पलट के रख दिया बस ने.
Worst base. Yeah.
Okay.
Hello.
Uh,
By the way, guys, totally today, so we should all wish Kajol.
Yeah. Well, no, because you have to be careful because people get strange ideas. I mean, this is really.
Did I just die out?
Yeah.
Yes.
No,
Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
We can hear you now.
No, yes.
Well, no, I was just saying because you have to be careful with people.
Michael, complete your point, and then I'll come back to my.
Yeah, they get strange ideas. I mean, this is really disgusting. I've started, so I'm going to finish. I heard of one guy, and his girlfriend said, "Do you love me?" And he said, "Yeah." And he said, "Do you really love me?" And he said, "Yeah." And he said, "So you do anything?" And he said, "Of course." And she said, "This is really disgusting," but she said, "Would you drink my menstrual fluid?" And he said, "If that's what you want, yes." And so she left him for being disgusting. Doesn't make sense. So this is you're an animal. Why would any man want to do that? And she said, that's what you started. It was your idea,
Good call.
Good call.
Yeah.
On saying yes or leaving the guy?
Saying yes. No, leaving the guy. Leaving the guy.
Abbas would be like, at what point in the night do you want me to drink it? Let me put that down on Google.
Well, if you put mayonnaise.
That wasn't my response. It was her response.
It was neat.
Okay. Anyway, before we segue to the next. Before we segue to the next topic, I was gonna say that it was Kajol's birthday yesterday, guys. So let's all wish Kajol a very happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
Whoa!
Happy birthday, Kajol. Hope you had a great birthday.
Had a nice time. Okay, don't sing.
By the way, that song is copyrighted, so I'm not going to sing it.
Oh yeah,
No,
happy
it's
birthday
not.
It is copyrighted. You cannot sing it.
Really?
It's
Yeah.
it's in the public domain, Baba.
Yeah, so even then you can't sing it in
It's
restaurants
in the
and all.
public domain.
You can't.
So Hard Rock Cafe वाले क्या करेंगे?
But then what do you do?
You technically owe
Will my video be struck down for copyright?
It might.
Fine, I'll pay them. Which reminds me, there's an InstaMojo link in the description, guys. Please contribute so that we can pay Warner Brothers whatever royalty we have to pay them for happy birthday. Okay, I think we got some good points about how to make things comfortable while making out, which leads me to the next point of conversation, which is the most. Which one do you want to do? The most scandalous things we have said live, or the other one?
Let's do the other one first.
Okay. So the other one was, a date is going wrong when you ask a girl, are we going to make out? And she says at some point.
But that went
so
well
this is
for you,
basically,
right?
yeah, we can. It did, yes. So for me, it did go well. We can chime in with our one-liners of a date is going wrong when ...
Yeah. When she says your brother was busy.
Into the room.
When she says what?
I think
when she says your brother was busy.
That's Shahan dating. Like.
Or your dad was busy. That's even worse. Yeah. I know.
You know a date is going wrong when she has left. This has happened. This has happened.
When she's asking for the check and you still haven't reached the restaurant.
Ooh.
This has really happened to me. When he said, let's split the bill. And then he said, can I take the bill because I can submit it to my company and get a refund for it.
How classy. How classy.
And I nearly married him. So yeah.
Oh my God.
Hey, you know what date is going. Okay, there's a lag.
No,
Can you guys hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. You know what date is going badly when she asks, "Is your comedy any better?"
Has that ever happened?
Yeah. Oh, she says, do you go
No
down
comment.
better than your comedy? Go down well as well, yeah. I have to. So there's a really funny story I just have to share with you. That I used to do a comedy show with this lady who was not attractive. I know it's not a sexist thing to say. It's just true. Everybody
I'm sensing a pattern here, Michael.
Yeah, no, seriously, it's just a fact. You know, everybody said it, and people that knew me and that she was my friend, they said it to me. I said, "Oh, she's really unattractive," and she did this routine once about a date that was going very, very badly, and it got worse and worse and worse. And right at the end, just when you think it can't get any worse, they're on the way. They're on the way home anyway in the cab. He grabs her head because he wants a blowjob, and it's like, And at that point, the guy next to me, he'd been totally dead for the whole routine. He suddenly pissed himself laughing. It was really weird. It's been totally silent. And this bit here about, and like people are looking at him. You're right. You've gone temporarily insane. And I'm kind of embarrassed because I think who's this weirdo you brought along? So after the show, I'm chatting. I say, listen, mate, I could see you had a good time, but why did you find that part of the routine so hysterically funny? And he goes, well, actually, mate, I wasn't laughing at the routine. I was laughing. I was laughing at the idea that any man in his right mind would actually want to put his dick inside that woman's mouth. Can you imagine that? Chomping and slobbering and slurping away. Oh my God. I can't think of anyone I'd less want to place my penis, I'd rather butt fuck my own dad. And the notion that he gets off on the prospect, it's like, oh, dear, oh dear. He looks like the Tasmanian devil in a wig, Anyway.
Wow. That's ruined the Tasmanian devil for me.
Whoa, well, no, that's disrespectful to the Tasmanian devil. You haven't seen this person.
That's definitely how you know a date
I
is
think
not going
date
well.
is going wrong when the girl constantly is talking about her latest crush or some guy he wants to be with.
Or if she's talking
अंकल
about her
मुझे इस आवाज में थोड़ा एक्सपीरियंस सुनाई दे रहा है.
Yes, totally है.
जिस तरह से तो बोला ना.
Sorry.
So I want to cheer myself up with some Leonard Cohen or something like that. Cheer myself up with some Joy Division, Sylvia Plath, Ingmar Bergman, liven the evening up a bit.
Cheerful stuff. Yes.
I
think this is the first time Ingmar Bergman has been name dropped on our show. But
Ingmar Bergman's great. I actually speaking of dates, the person I call her my wife, even though technically she's not my wife. One of the first times we went out together, we watched some Ingmar Bergman actually. Yeah, it's Wild Strawberries. Yeah, but it wasn't a first date. I wouldn't go to Bergman for a first date, But like when you get to know someone, it gives you something to talk about afterwards, It's good.
Right.
I mean, there are so many terrible.
Still better than Handmaid's Tale, I would say.
Yeah. Or like Saw.
Saw, yes.
Rosemary's Baby or something. Hostel.
Kajol, uh, Kajol, you want to say something?
Yes. So this definitely didn't go well. The guy was Parsi. Okay, not one of the three Parsis I dated. Somebody else.
That have been mentioned before. Yeah, those are old now. This is a new Parsi. Yes.
So
I think Kajol has dated every Parsi in Bombay. Like there are no Parsis left that she hasn't
Shahan,
dated.
no Shahan.
Okay, so Parsi, yeah.
So he was like, my mother would want me to marry a Parsi only, but so how do you satisfy your biological needs?
Wow.
There are ways.
I can totally imagine a Parsi saying this.
This guy is an embarrassment to the community.
I'll tell you his name later, okay? He's pretty well known. So,
Well known? Please, Abhi.
so my point is, he was making it very clear that he was going to marry a Parsi, but he wanted something on the side, so let's satisfy our biological needs.
There are two things in that scenario. One thing when he starts the sentence with "my mom says," and then the word biological needs.
Biological needs.
Listen, every Parsi starts the sentence with "my mom says." Okay, sorry.
But I had a question for Michael. I forgot to ask you. So, as a Brit who is now in Italy, is there a difference that you see in Italian men and British men approaching women, or
oh yeah, definitely
trying to hit on women?
Yeah. English people are far more sort of old-fashioned, romantic. Italian men, they're actually quite sexist. Italian men, they don't have a lot of respect for women. No, really, they sort of think women are good for one thing. Well, two things if you include the housework. It's really quite an old-fashioned.
Once again, happy Women's Day, everyone.
Yeah, I'm not saying that's how I think. I'm just saying that's the mentality.
Sure. Yes. Of course.
But I think women are just the same. I mean, I used to hate the way that men spoke about women, and then once I overheard women talking about men, they were brutal. They made Adolf Hitler sound like Baby Spice. They're really cruel, really cruel. So I think they're just as bad, but in a different way. Because that's what I don't understand about women. That women, not for all women, obviously. But women, they sort of, there are certain women, they spend half their life moaning about men and the other half trying to bonk one. It's really weird, no, really, they're sort of like, oh, men are shit, men are useless, men are the inferior sex, never trust a man. I'm like, okay, if that's how you feel, what are you doing tonight? Going on a blind date? I can't wait. Oh my God, so excited.
This is quite surprising, actually, what you told about Italian men. I mean,
it's very old-fashioned. It's quite an old, the mentality is very old-fashioned.
They're known to be very charming, very flirtatious, no?
Yeah, that's what.
That is a stereotype that was put about by Italian men. Right. It's like people say the French, French women are sexy. That was French women put that thing around, No, seriously, when I first came to Rome, I was quite surprised, like television's very sexist. It's kind of like sub Benny Hill. All these sort of beautiful topless women running around, and because the first weekend I came to Rome, I didn't speak Italian, and I just switched on the telly. It was Sunday. I don't speak a word of Italian, but I recognize crap.
Just back up for a second, Michael. Yeah. Did you just say there are topless women on Italian television?
Yeah, why?
And it's sexist because Indian TV is sexist without the topless women.
Well, I mean, it doesn't help, does it? It's not exactly.
I don't know. In Indian TV, it's the men who are dressed up as the topless women.
Oh God,
the topless men as well, but it's not the same. Yeah. No, there's a Colpo Grosso. You heard of that one? No, Colpo Grosso was basically a strip show. It was pretending to be a game show, and the more answers you got right, the more clothes the women took off, and it just turned into a basic sort of strip thing,
Is it still on?
Honest, I don't mind that sort of thing now. I used to find it very offensive and sexist. I just don't really care anymore. It's just men are always going to want to look at nice women, and women are always going to make money out of it. So, if you don't like it, just don't be a part of it.
Sure. Yes.
You can't stop it.
But Michael, do you follow Indian television? Like, just asking out of curiosity.
So do I for Italian?
No,
Indian.
Indian. I have to be honest. I know absolutely nothing about it.
Okay.
I don't know. Because I don't watch a lot of television. I watch Ingmar Bergman and the Spice Girls.
The two things that were made for each other, of course. It'll be hilarious if you watched a Bergman film with Spice Girls playing in the background.
They should have an Ingmar Bergman remake with Spice Girls music. That'd be good. That's what I really want.
If I may ask you, what gets
exactly?
If I may ask you, Michael, what gets a girl's heart racing, like Spice Girls or Ingmar Bergman?
That's a good question, actually. Yeah. I think a bit of both. You know, it shows that I'm a complex person. I have a brain and a penis. You know? Which is the perfect man, isn't it? Yeah. I have to be honest. This whole Spice Girls thing was just meant to be a joke because they went out of fashion 20 years ago, and even then they were shit. But I've been sort of associated with it. So
you've kept them alive.
Yeah, thanks to me. Yeah. I'm a
so were you in Italy when the Spice Girls were big?
I was big when I saw the Spice Girls, yeah.
Because they were pretty big in India when they were at their peak.
Oh, they were big everywhere. The Spice Girls, it was 1997, they were enormous. Yeah, because it's funny, because I saw an interview with the Spice Girls, and the interviewer said, when I first saw you, it was big. But I didn't realize how big you could make it, and now it's just exploded. I thought, what are you talking about?
It's only
the success. Oh, sorry. Yeah.
So it's only two people who have kept the Spice Girls alive, you and David Beckham.
Yeah. I'm not a big fan of Victoria Beckham. No, to be honest, you know, nowadays I used to like Victoria.
So let me ask.
I'd rather shag David these days. If I had to choose, you know, he's got bigger tits than she has. Let me ask the important
question: Who's your favorite Spice, Michael?
My favorite Spice Girl, number one, Melanie C. Number 2, Mel C. Number 3, Sporty Spice. Number 4, Melanie Kissam, and number 5, Melanie Sporty Spice C. That's it. I used to have a joke. I said, "What do you call a singer with 4 dogs?" Sporty.
Okay, before we go,
I don't laugh at your religion.
Even we don't laugh at our religion.
Leave the Spice Girls though. Well, I have to tell you, there's a funny story very quickly. I once got banned from a comedy show for making jokes about Madonna. Right.
Okay.
Yeah, because the organizer was gay, and he probably still is gay. And it's funny because I used to do all these horrible jokes about paedophilia and masturbation. It was fine. And once I did something about Madonna, and he cut me out of the show forever. He was upset, he was offended. You know, don't laugh at Madonna.
What year was that? 2002?
It was recently. It's about a year ago.
Yeah, Shahan,
that was a year
Madonna's
ago.
still big.
What's so funny like Madonna? Like, why is Madonna a touchy subject?
Because he's gay. Gay people love Madonna.
Okay.
What was the joke?
Yeah.
No,
that wasn't a joke. It wasn't a specific joke. I was just laying into Madonna, saying that she was very crass and vulgar, and this idea that a woman who sells herself sexually is self-empowering, and it's not, you're just a whore, you know. And apparently it's a bit, ooh, you know.
So one would think he would move on to Lady Gaga or someone by the 2010s, but clearly not.
Yeah. So what's the difference between Madonna and Lady Gaga?
What?
30 years.
Michael, since you are a UK citizen or hailing from the UK, I can't not ask you about the big thing that happened today, which is the royal family ain't as royal as we thought they were. They're kind of bad,
straight up racist.
I have to be honest. I really don't give a fuck about the royal family. I have to be honest. I used to have a joke where I said the royal baby, the royal baby weighed just over 8 pounds, and just over 8 pounds is what the fucker's going to cost you every second of its pointless little existence.
I can kind of make out you're not a big fan.
No, it's like Prince Charles in traditional Scottish costume.
Yeah.
Strange. Normally the kilt conceals the dickhead. I've no interest in the royal. I genuinely don't understand the English mentality, because for the last 10 years, English people have been paranoid about money. You know, it's always like recession, economic crisis, credit crunch, etc. And then a royal baby is born, you know, biggest parasites in England, in Europe, in the world. We're all celebrating, you know, don't celebrate, cry. That's even more money wasted, you know. Like the other one that makes me laugh is when people say, but the royal family, they bring in money through tourism.
Right.
And I say, listen, right, the royal yacht, right, the crown jewels, Buckingham Palace, the last royal wedding cost billions, and you genuinely think that selling one postcard to a Japanese tourist is going to balance that out? I mean, you know, I don't know. But, you know, we have to be careful, no, because even my parents were quite left-wing like me, but even they didn't like it if you criticise the royal family. I think it's because we see it rightly or wrongly, so I think it's wrong, or I wouldn't have said that. I think it's because people see them as part of our culture and our heritage.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? It's a bit like Fellini, the Italian director.
Yeah.
Very odd. I didn't expect so many film auteurs to be name dropped on this show, but sure. from Bergman.
It makes
to
a change
Fellini.
from Mel C. All right.
Yeah. So what about Fellini?
Because Fellini is like possibly the most boring director ever. You know, I once sat through 12 hours of Ingmar Bergman, and I find Fellini boring. That's how boring he is. But if you criticize Fellini to an Italian, they get upset because it's part of their culture, you know. And it's like, you know, you say to an Italian, what do you think of Fellini? Oh, I love Fellini. He's wonderful. Oh, really? Because I have 40 hours of videos at home. Do you want to come and watch? Fuck off. There's a football on the telly, you know.
And then and then you go, but Spice Girls, are you into the Spice Girls? And then you have a party.
That works.
But I'll say this.
They told him to fuck off anyway. So.
I'll say this. I've seen Fellini's Breathless, only one film.
That's Godard.
Which one? No, Breathless is Godard.
Which one is a Fellini's movie? Koi naam batao yaar.
La Dolce Vita, 8.5.
La Dolce Vita is the most famous one.
8.5.
Otto and Mezzo.
I think 8.5. I was watching 8.5, and I think after a while, I couldn't.
You stopped at 6. You were like, this is it.
8.5 it's really long.
And I love La Dolce Vita.
No, the thing
I
about
like
8.5
more.
Okay.
Shahan and Kajol, this is a film companion. We'll come back to you very soon.
Talk about Spice World.
Yeah. But yeah, so fuck the royal family. Nobody gives a shit about them. Shahan, I'm sorry. I know you're a Parsi and it's almost like you're an extension of them, but it is what it is. Yeah.
Hey, screw Megan and screw that ginger head.
What the
Ginger.
fucking Weasley. He sounded like Draco Malfoy. Like
Michael,
fucking
the
Weasley.
Parsis who are basically Iranians settled in India, they regard the queen as their queen. We have no idea why.
Oh yeah, people love her.
Freddie Mercury was a Parsi.
Yeah, I don't.
He was also
him.
gay.
Yeah.
Did you know that?
But he was better than Madonna though. He didn't
That's
mind
why I was
Madonna.
offended. Yeah, that's what I was upset about. You know? Right,
And his band was fucking called Queen.
Yeah.
Yeah, true. All right, so anybody else wants to chime in about the Queen before we go on to the last part of our show?
So they mentioned that they didn't want to give a prince status to Meghan's son because they were scared of his skin color. That's what she brought up in the interview. And I read a really good Twitter thread today about how Queen Victoria made a lot of Indian royals her wards. Okay, I think one of the Princess of Coorg and stuff, because she wanted to show how benevolent she was to all the colonies, that she didn't mind color and she was fine with racism.
Yeah, wow.
Yeah, but she ended up making their lives quite miserable.
Well, it's a bit depressing if you've reached a point in life where you have to point it out. You know, I don't have a problem with foreigners. You know? Why do you have to say it in the first place? You know, it should be obvious. Some of my best friends are black.
I saw this this really offensive now a print ad of Pears soap from back in the colonial era, where it's essentially an illustration of a white man and woman giving the Pears soap to a brown person, a half-naked brown person. And the caption was something along the lines of making the world fairer or bringing them. So get it, fairer is a pun on the
Listen, my grandparents.
Yeah.
They were not racist because that would mean it was malicious. They were just ignorant.
Right.
And you have to remember, these were people who grew up like in the 20s, and they generally never seen a foreigner. There was very little television in those days, and they were very nice people. But for them, it was like seeing an alien. It was like seeing an animal or something.
Right.
And I remember when we used to travel. It sounds terrible now, but we didn't think about it. When we used to travel to London, we had kids in the back of the car, and they always make a noise. So you think of games for them to play, like spot the interesting pub name or something, or spot the wild animal. And they actually had one called Spot the Black Person. Just seen another one. Put it down on the list. Really, and we were so ignorant. We didn't think. I mean, you say now it's terrible. It's like, oh my God,
Parsis play the same game in India.
Oh, come on, Shahan.
That's okay, Shahan. Now we play Spot the Parsi, so it's
exactly.
It kind of comes back.
Hours of fun.
Still more tigers than Parsis in India, or has the equation changed? Still the
I
same.
think it was 60,000 Parsis. 60,000
I'm still not married.
Whose fault is that? No, Shahan will go, my mummy wants me to marry a Parsi. But
She does, Shahan.
Of course, dude.
An arranged marriage.
Okay, cool. This last bit of our show, I think Michael will have a lot of stories to say regarding this one. It's essentially jokes that scandalize the audience when we set them on stage.
Madonna.
How much time, Michael's like, how much time do you have for my career, to cover my career? But what's the one that stands out in your mind, Michael? Or shall we keep Michael for the end? Let's start with
we are relatively tame.
we're relatively tame. I'm gonna kind of repeat the same thing I mentioned in the last joke jam as well, where I used to do this joke where I used to say I'm a freelance writer living on rent in Mumbai. When people ask me to get married, I said the only thing I can feed my wife is my cock, and that always used to get a little
Oh really?
Yeah.
What were you expecting?
A laugh.
Round of applause for the women. Yeah. Well
done. What about you, Kajol? What's the one?
Okay. So during lockdown, I was asked to do a comedy gig at someone's birthday party. Okay. And they specifically came to me because it was a naughty gig. And I had to entertain the birthday girl and tons of her friends all on Zoom.
What's the age of the audience over here?
35 to 40.
Okay.
So her husband led the birthday girl in. He had arranged the gig with me. Mm-hmm. And I had written the dirtiest jokes possible, okay? Masturbation, stuff like that.
Yeah.
Now, I didn't realize that for Marwadi women who were having a birthday party, dirty meant quickie, okay?
The word quickie.
The word quickie.
Yeah.
So they were all gung-ho, like, time che, quickie karenge, ouchu, and whatever. Okay, they were all like giggling with each other. And then I started with, so I was doing a female masturbation joke the other day. And then I felt the dead silence coming into the room. Oh, that was strange. That was very, very strange.
And this was on Zoom.
This was on Zoom.
Okay. What about you, Sankalp?
Okay, so this is something I'm not really proud of.
That's okay. None of us are.
I just happened to perform last week in Thane or Mira Road.
Okay.
हाँ, so वहाँ पर एक stand-up comedian joke मार के गया था कि अर्जुन कपूर को माँ का प्यार नहीं मिला, something like that. And he left the stage. तो अपनी माँ का पहली माँ का प्यार नहीं मिला. And when I came on stage, I just started off saying that उसको तो दूसरी माँ का प्यार भी नहीं मिला, वो तो डूब गई. And I don't know why I said that, and I felt very ashamed that how can I say something like this, because it was very brutal and people were like, oh
right.
So yeah, I suddenly realized.
How did you get them back?
No, I never got them back. It was equally
Okay. I was doing a gig with you at WTF, and I think you cracked some Sushant Singh Rajput jokes as well, where
Yeah, that
it
was. I
was
think I
kind of a
tried to connect it
similar.
with what Republic used to say every day about him, and I tried to bring out
Okay.
news bits. Yeah,
Okay. Right.
Your suicide jokes are not
Okay.
working, Sankalp.
yeah.
They're not going down well with the audience.
Shahan?
My dad goes down well.
No, I've never shocked anyone with like
You've never
sex
got
jokes, but I've just
any
shocked
response
them
from
with
the
how bad
audience.
I've been on stage.
What?
No, they've just been shocked at how bad I've been sometimes. It's the joke quality is it's never something that I've said that's like, oh my god, that's too
You
edgy. It's
know,
just they've just stared at me like, what the fuck? Like, what is this guy doing on stage?
he's got this. He's
Yeah,
got
yeah. So
this joke.
what was like
No, no. I'll tell you. I'll tell you. I've been there with when Shahan does his joke about
Kajol as well? Yeah.
there's this horse who has big testicles and he's stoning the testicles. Shahan always gets the audience going like, whoa.
What?
The horse joke.
Got a message.
Oh
What's
yeah,
the
yeah, yeah.
joke, Shahan? Do it for us.
It was something about people in Kanpur having nothing to do, so they used to throw rocks at horse dicks, like because horses and cows roam free on the roads of Kanpur in the city, right? Because
I think their aim.
Yeah.
it's a shithole. So what kids used to do was because there was nothing to do, these horses have like massive, and they used to like walk around with hard-ons, right? And
Humongous.
these guys
Yeah.
used to these guys used to throw pebbles and rocks at it, dude. It was, and I used to join in sometimes. I felt really bad, but I was just trying to fit in. But
That's the joke, Shahan?
Yeah.
Okay then.
See,
Okay. I don't blame the audience at all.
Offensive to horses.
Blame the audience now.
Yeah, if there were any horses in the audience, then,
Yeah.
they wouldn't have understood it though, so don't worry.
Michael, what about you?
No, I've done a lot of horrible stuff. Oh, sorry.
Scandalize the audience.
Oh, me? Yeah, no, I've done some horrible stuff. There was one that I liked, which was what's the difference between my mother's living room and my mother's vagina? You take your shoes off before you enter her living room.
This is a joke
what's the difference? What's the difference between my mother's legs and COVID? Yeah, COVID won't spread forever. Or what's the difference between the Spice Girls and my mother's legs? No, the Spice Girls occasionally get back together. I was doing a lot of that stuff, but it's all right, I did that. And I used to do a lot of paedophilia jokes as well. Like it says in the Bible, love your neighbor. That's why the priest moved next to the kindergarten.
Okay, this video is not going to stay up on my channel.
I did a lot of stuff like that. No, but the thing is, you have to know your audience, and I've learned over the years when I do a new show, if it's a new venue, I have a sort of set that I call my Joker set, and it's I do it for two reasons. Number one, because I know it back to front, so I don't have problems with memory. But number two, it's stuff that couldn't offend anybody. I don't just mean sexual. I mean, there's nothing about religion or politics. And I normally do that on the first show to gauge the audience. Okay. And then if I understand it's that kind of audience, the next show I do the other stuff. So I've learned. I think also because there are so many opportunities with Zoom. In Italy, I used to get one show a month, and it was always the same crowd, so I knew what they were like. Right. And I think if you know your audience, it's all right. I mean, you're not going to do those jokes at primary school, are you? If you do it in front of the right crowd, you're normally in the safe zone. I think, I
think that's what you've done with time. You watch the room and sort of gauge the audience that what they love or not.
I was about to ask you. So, how long did it take you, Michael, to get to a point where you were like, okay, I'm gonna have a different set, but I'm gonna break in a venue, and then I'll gauge the audience and do something different the next time on.
It was quite recent. Quite recent. I mean, the thing is, I've been doing this for 10 years, but you have to remember that 10 years in Italy is not 10 years in England or America. Right. I mean, as I said, I used to get like one show a month. Right. So 10 years here, it's like a year. if you live in London,
so
you
you've
can do
done
open mic
120 shows so far.
I've actually lost count. Well, the strange thing is with Zoom, I've probably done more shows in the last 6 months than in the last 10 years.
Right.
Not exaggerating. Yeah, no, really. Because in Italy, you would have the one open mic show.
Right.
And you weren't guaranteed a place because it was always overbooked. And then I offended a lot of people and I fell out with the organizer, so I lost that. And then there was the generic open mic where people went for music. They didn't go for stand-up, so nobody was listening. And even if they were listening, they didn't really know what you were doing because they...
Exactly. I was about to ask you, is there a language barrier?
It's not just about language. It's also because in Italy, they don't really have a lot of stand-up and they don't know what it is.
Right.
If I may ask, is the Italian audience more like communally sensitive, religiously touchy people?
Yes. Okay. Much more. I mean, here in Rome, I did a joke once, and it was totally misunderstood. And it was about a sexual harassment claim that was filed by a porn star. And what I was trying to point out...
There are no Italians here. I mean, you can do the joke.
No, but the point is that the joke was totally misunderstood. And I was trying to say that in a world of, hatred and even violence against women, you're not helping by supporting an industry that portrays women as sexual objects. That's what I was saying. But the problem was the minute I got onto sexual harassment, half the audience said no. And the other half assumed that I was sticking up for the guy. And of course I wasn't. I was saying it's a more complicated situation. And in fact, that night, the minute I got to that bit, it was near the end of my set. And I said, I'm going to leave in a minute. And the organizer said, good. And I got off stage and she went up on stage and she said, we just want to point out, we understand that Michael fancies himself as a bit politically incorrect, but just because a woman is in a pornographic movie, she is not inviting harassment. Thank you. And the entire first row actually applauded her. Right. And it was a total misunderstanding. Yeah. She got more applause than I did.
Yeah.
And it's the kind of misunderstanding, because like with an English audience, I did the same thing with an English audience, and most of them understood what I was trying to say.
Right.
That I wasn't sticking up for a harasser. I was saying that you have to be careful what image you throw out, but I think with an Italian audience, that sort of stuff, religious stuff, you have to remember that no matter how good your material is, the minute you talk about certain subjects, people are going to say no.
Right.
It's like rape. I mean, you could theoretically have a good joke about rape, but no one's going to laugh because it's such a horrific thing in the first place,
Right.
So,
have you had any odd experiences where the audiences have sort of come up to you and told you on your face that, what you did on stage was wrong in Italy?
Yeah, I've had a lot of criticism, but in a sense, I like that because it means that you're communicating something. I mean, there's so much bland comedy, like, women talking about their disaster dates, men talking about, who they want to shag and last time they masturbated. That's what it is.
Michael just described all of the Indian open mic scene in 2 sentences.
Well, no, but that's the thing, because I don't know what it is like, men. Occasionally it's funny, but it's this masturbation. It's been done so many times, men always go. There's one comedian, and I think he's quite good.
Yeah.
But there are some nights he does like 10 minutes. That's all he's talking about. It gets boring, not because there's anything wrong with it, but just doing the same thing again and again and again.
True. Yes.
So sometimes I like criticism if it's intelligent. I don't like it when people say that was shit, or I didn't like it, or you can't talk about this or that. If you genuinely made somebody think about something and they can express their opinion, then I think that's a positive thing.
I just want to say, Michael, you telling us the story of the woman going on after you and sort of explaining or sort of distancing you from the material. It reminds me of as a good friend of ours called Ronak Rajani. He's also a comedian in India. And he was doing a college gig and he was given strict instructions not to use any cursing, no religion, nothing. And I think he said one or two curse words while doing his set. So as soon as he said it, one of the staff members came in the aisles and there was a wrap up. And he wrapped up his set and he went backstage, and they actually make him come out again and apologize for using the cuss words and saying that
really?
guy, yes. And he was like, guys, I don't endorse this language. Do not use cuss words in your language and all of that. So yeah, that's even worse.
Just bad language. It wasn't like homophobic or racist. It was just like...
No. In India, we have to apologize for everything.
Yeah, it's like in England. We always apologize. I'm sorry. Someone bumps into you. Sorry.
Apologize for existing, basically.
But before we leave, Michael, you do English stand-up comedy night in Italy now. It's called Farm Open Mic, if I'm not wrong.
Farm Open Mic comedy. Yeah, it's kind of on hold. Well, apparently there's some kind of virus going around. Heard of it, so. Let's hope it's nothing serious. It won't affect our day-to-day lives. No, we started Farm Comedy about a year ago with my partner, Francesco Pugliese, and another guy called Rocco. And we did it for this reason, because we wanted an open mic show where, there wouldn't be any censorship and you could genuinely just get up and do what you wanted. And we had something similar, but there was a bit of a misunderstanding with the organizer because it was in a theatre.
Right.
And which is not a really good place, to do open mic. It's the wrong kind of atmosphere. Sure. And the organizer of the theatre, she didn't really understand what we were doing. She thought she was going to get like a polished.
I like how comedy problems are the same the world over. Yes.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Well, no, I mean, she just didn't understand what kind of project it was. Right. She thought that English comedy was Shakespeare, or Oscar Wilde. And then she didn't really understand what we were doing. And in particular, she was trying to censor it. And I said, if you censor it, it's not open mic.
Right.
And if you have a problem with a performer in an open mic, you have the problem with the performer, not the organizer.
Right.
Because we don't know what you're going to do. You just get there and do it. And also we can't possibly, audition people and watch people. We don't have the time, 20 people. Okay. And even if we do, you can't say, oh, I don't like that, or this is okay. I don't have a problem. Someone else might, because that's not open mic. And you never get better that way, because there's always a reason not to do it. And if you just block yourself, you're never going to say anything. So we just wanted to push this thing. And that's why we had Farm Comedy in Rome. Yeah, it's totally open.
What's the story behind the name?
It's the funny farm.
Okay.
Yeah, that's about as good as we get, believe me. Well, we think after that joke, all the acts are going to look good. So.
Well, in India, the farmers are protesting. I think that's all one has to say about our comedy.
They're revolting. Literally.
They are. I'll just read a few comments. Megha is saying, Megha was surprised that we're talking about Meghan. Then she said, Freddie Mercury was Parsi. That's enough internet for today. Okay, so there are still people who are finding out Freddie Mercury was Parsi. Raza Gibrani in the chat says, Michael is funny. And he's appreciating your dark humor. About the Ronak thing, Raza is saying, that's funny. He gave a disclaimer after the act. Yeah, that's more or less what it was like. So, guys, anyone wants to say before we wrap up and basically just plug our...
We have a question for Michael.
Yes, go ahead.
So, Italy, if you crack something which doesn't go down well with people, do they ban you or shadow ban you, something like that?
Yeah.
Do you become an untouchable?
Yeah. I have been banned from certain places.
Oh.
Yeah. There was one. I think it was partly my fault because I was in a very bad mood, and I'd had a few warnings that I was going too far. And there was one night I was just in a really bad mood, and I was just being really offensive to everybody. So it was kind of my fault, you know. But no, you do get banned.
I don't feel bad about India anymore now. I don't feel
bad. At least you don't go to jail in Italy.
Yeah.
Lenny Bruce. Yeah. No, I mean. The problem in Italy is it's not so much getting banned from places, because that can happen. It's because there are so few opportunities, and the people that run the opportunities, they tend to go by who they like or who they don't like.
Yeah, that's India.
Same.
Well, for example, they say, "Oh, sorry, you can't do the show this month because we don't have room." But their friends get to do it every single show.
Yeah.
So I think it's the same everywhere. I think it's
Michael, are you sure you're in Italy? This sounds very familiar.
Yeah, I mean, well, it's the same. It's the same in your job. It's the same with friends. It's the same with anything, So
Yeah. So these the farm comedy shows that you have done so far. How many of them have you done live?
Live. Well, we've only done them live. That's the thing.
Oh, you haven't done them on live yet?
Yeah. Well, no, we started doing it about a year ago. We did 2 or 3 shows, and then we had to stop it.
So the audience that came for these shows, were they your average, the average Italian, or was this a crowd which was more willing to listen to sort of edgy comedy?
Oh no, we had quite a good crowd. We had a good crowd because it was in a pub.
Okay.
And so, you know, a lot of people were drinking, they were getting into it. And also I think it was nice because we did a lot of English stuff. Because there were lots of English people in Rome, and you know they miss the kind of open mic thing. So no, we didn't have any problems at our shows.
Okay,
it was quite a good one. I think also because the audience, they weren't expecting anything because it was like open mic. You know, it wasn't like they were sitting there, you know, entertain me and you know. So it was just a very. It's like a night out. It's like going to a party. You know, that's the way we tried to play it.
I don't know why I have too many questions for Michael. Can I just ask one last?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
So in India, if we perform at a eatery or a bar, you know, where people are drinking and eating, they barely care about the comedian who's on the stage. So does that happen in Italy as well? That do they care for the performer, or just because he's performing, they give him that respect, or they don't bother?
No, I mean, this is what I was saying before, that I used to do a lot of open mic, generic open mic shows. And the problem was that people would go along because they wanted to listen to music or chat. Right. And if you're up there playing a song and people are chatting, you can't hear. And when you finish, they give you a round of applause anyway, because it's automatic. But, you know, getting up there and doing stand-up in front of that kind of crowd was really tough. But I liked it because it kind of toughened me up as a performer.
Yeah.
You know, because there was one show that I used to do about 5 years ago. And the problem with it was that everybody in that show, so everybody in the audience was a family member or a friend, or even your coach. They'd coach you. So you knew that even if you sucked, they were going to be supportive.
Yeah.
And so it wasn't really very challenging. So I actually quite like the tougher gigs, you know, because it forces you to sort of, you know, rethink and, you know, how to communicate and get people's attention. Because that's really what it's about. It's not just about writing material. It's about delivery.
Yeah.
So, you know, I've had some really tough gigs, you know.
Why do you think Italy doesn't have a stand-up culture?
It's just something they don't do. You know, I think it's the same everywhere apart from England and America, really. They don't have it. You know, I was in London visiting my sister. You know, it's Friday night. What are we going to do? See some open mic. In Rome, no, you go and have a pizza, you watch the football, you go to the pub. You know, it's just something. Yeah. I mean, they don't even have sitcoms in Italy, right? They've attempted over the years, and they're very, very bad because they don't really know what a sitcom is. They think a sitcom is like theatre sketches and people being silly for 30 minutes. They don't understand the complexity of it, you know, the intelligence of it, because they don't have that tradition to draw on. You know, it's like people say Friends was great. Friends was great because they planned it for a year. They put a load of money into it. In Italy, it's the opposite. They just take some celebrities and write them a crap script. You know, they
again, are you really in Italy? You could be talking about it.
This is only true for us. You know, what I just experience of that. You know, I mean, I don't know.
I see.
Michael's apnepan wali feeling aa rahi hai, like
I know, yeah. I hope
village.
I know. I hope we get to see you in India someday, Michael, when things get better. Or maybe we come down to Italy. I don't know. Cool. Thanks so much. Thanks so much for joining us, Michael.
Pleasure.
Where can one see you online, and anything you want to plug, your social media handles, you can do that.
Excellent. Yeah, well, Farm Comedy on Facebook, Instagram. If you want to follow me, don't stalk me, just follow me. It's me on Facebook. On Twitter, I'm the Bruce Boy. All right. So yeah, just any kind of support is positive, you know, because we're trying to get these things sort of off the ground. So, you know,
all right,
just nice, basically.
Cool. All of our social media handles are also in the description, guys, and also there's an Instamojo link. So if you want to support this this endeavor, do that. This was a nice little stand-up comedy workshop that we had as a backdoor pilot through Thirst Chat. Anything anybody else wants to plug? Any shows they have coming up? Anything they want to? Yeah.
I'm doing my special on the 20th in Andheri, and the
Whoa.
posters will be up soon. Please buy
where in
one
Andheri?
Cat Cafe. So
Okay.
I'll put it up, and please buy tickets, man. Please.
Yes, guys, please buy tickets. It's also one day after my birthday, so we'll all come and celebrate with Kajol. Cool.
Your birthday is one day after my birthday.
You're on 20. You're 26th March.
No, she said 20th, not 20th.
20th.
Oh,
220.
Nah,
mine is on 27th. So no birthday.
Yeah, because mine is on 18th.
Okay, a lot of March babies in this. No, not a lot of March babies. Cool. Shahan, Datta, anything you want to plug?
Your birthday, maybe.
Shahan, you want to hand out your CV to the people watching this in case you're looking for a job?
Need content written for anything.
Datta, you were saying something.
I'll be performing from Tuesday to Thursday in Hyderabad at Joint Bar and Cafe. It's an open mic. I'll be doing a lot of jokes. If they work, well.
Where can one? Is there a link one can buy tickets?
No. You can just show up and eat vada pav there.
Okay. Can you repeat the name of the venue once more?
The Joint Bar and Cafe.
The Joint Bar and Cafe in Hyderabad. I am off for vacation in a week, so that's what I have to plug. If you're in Pondicherry, please come down, see me. I might be doing some dates in Bangalore because I'm in Bangalore for 3 days. Thank you guys. Thank you so much for joining us.
Can I?
Yes,
guys.
Okay.
Yes.
I just released a YouTube video. If you guys want to watch it, you can just tune into my YouTube channel and subscribe my channel and watch my content. I just released a YouTube video which is doing okay.
Fairly well, but he wants the 9 people watching this to also. Oh, 12 people. Sorry. Take that back. 12 people watching this also.
Subscribe to my YouTube channel and watch my video.
What's the video called, Sankal?
It's called Delhi se Mumbai tak.
Okay. Very, very original, Sankal. Yes. All right, guys. Thank you so much. We will be back, whether I'm on vacation or not, next week, with a host of new topics. Thank you so much for joining us. We will see you all very soon, and follow all of us. We will keep you updated with the details about the next chat as well as the next Zoom show that we're doing. Till then, goodbye. Take care, and hope to see you again, Michael, very soon. And have a lot of fun. All right, then. Everybody say bye.